Hello, everybody. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Zeb. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing awesome. Guys, it's December 2020. Unbelievable we've reached this far, right? Matt, you are a good friend and expert. You're also a client. You're someone that I consult with, and your company helps other companies with accounting, finance, and a lot of things that we need help with. One of the things that helped me grow my company is stopping my thought that I'm good at everything, my thought that I know everything. I always loved numbers, so I try to deal with things a little bit too much on my own. When I understood that there are experts that can do the job much, much better, and then I think I really started growing. So we're ending the year right now. Can you share with people right now? It's the month of December, 2020 again. What do they need to think about? What do they need to ask themselves?
Well, that's great. There's a couple things. There's clearly the standard answer, which is a correct answer. You need to make sure that you're ready to close out your books for 2020. Be ready so you can prepare your taxes. You can make sure you're maximizing your income, minimizing what you have to do tax-wise, depending on the size of your organization. Those are all the blocking and tackling things. That's really important. They need to get done. But I think more importantly right now is the best time to start planning for 2021 and 2022. I'm a big believer that finance and accounting, the reason you measure it is not just to spend your time thinking about what we did, but to give you information and guidance to figure out what we can do better moving forward. One thing you just said about, trying to find the experts who can help you with the finance and accounting, it's interesting. You do want to have those experts, but it's also just where you spend your time, right? Zev, I mean, honestly, you could know more about finance than me and accounting than me, but where is your time best spent growing your company? And I will bet you and maintain that your best way to grow your business is meeting new clients, making sure that you're overseeing and getting the right staff in place, that you're really working with your team, that you're coming up with new solutions. That's where your growth comes from. So if you had a choice to spend your time between two things you had perfect knowledge of, I'd still recommend you're spending your time on the growth opportunities. But importantly, if there's an opportunity to learn from someone else, you should take advantage of it.
I love it. I'm going to digress for a second because what you said just kind of hit my heart. I used to have a mentor. I won't name him by name, but he's a pretty famous guy. And I had a tough year some years ago. And I came to him and I was dealing with problems and issues all the time. 80% of the time, because of that tough year I was having, I was dealing with issues. And he told me, and ever since then, I've been trying to really listen to him. Always focus on opportunities. Try to give give your problems to other people that can solve them, and you focus on growing. Focus on opportunities. You have to, of course, know what's going on and deal with it. But my time has never been best served doing the books. My time has never been best served looking at numbers. My time is best served creating those numbers. But if nobody's looking at the numbers, then what's the point, right?
You need to know your numbers. You need to know what's going on, and you need the people that are doing the finance and accounting for you to give you information, not just P&L statements and balance sheets and AR statements. What you're really looking for is information to help you make those decisions to grow your business. That advice from your mentor makes perfect sense, and it's what most owners should be doing. They should be spending their time on their business, not in their business. When you're in the business, you're not looking forward, and you are actually becoming the biggest bottleneck to the growth of your own company. And look, I have my own business, and I had to learn that lesson the hard way myself. I think most owners do. It's just the reality of it. You start the business, it's all on your shoulders, but at some point you have to give up things to be able to grow. And I think that's really a great point. It's good advice from your mentor.
It's great advice, and I love hearing what you're saying. Now, there are certain things in 2020 that I've never had to deal with before.
Only you.
Only me, right? So I got, we got loans as business owners. We got PPP, and some of us got, all these other things. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's of course easier to get the loan than then fill out all the forgiveness stuff.
Right.
There's a lot more things that I, as an owner, have to deal with, and I try my hardest not to. But I have to. So do you guys help people with all these issues with what's really been happening in 2020?
Absolutely. I think it's really important. Again, 2020 was unique, but I bet you if you look back each year, there was something unique in each year. What's unique about 2020 is something unique every day, it felt like, right? What's the new unique thing for 2020? But no, that's actually the point. I'll give you an example of what we do for clients. So like on the PPP loan forgiveness, on the economic assistance loans, all those things, we've gathered the information from our colleagues. You know, it's a profession of accounting and finance out there, from our CPA colleagues, from our other businesses, and from our other clients, and come up with what are the best approaches to making sure that you're not going to have any issues with getting that loan forgiveness from the PPP. I'll put it this way as well. So as a firm, we do all kinds of accounting and finance work. We actually don't do payroll. We actually outsource it, meaning we work with companies that do nothing but payroll. Why? Because everything in payroll is so specific and it changes state by state, jurisdiction by jurisdiction, month by month, year by year. You want the experts in that area to help you. And so I think when you talk about things like the accounting and finance reorganization, if you're relying on an individual or a few individuals, they could be absolutely completely knowledgeable about what they know. It's what they don't know, or what is happening in the larger workforce or the larger industry itself that's tough to challenge and tough to make up. So yes, we do help with all those things. You can tell I'm long-winded in my answers. The main thing is that we treat accounting as a support opportunity, right? Take that off your plate. You go focus on your next client, your next job, your next marketing opportunity.
Now, something that you guys help a lot, and I see a lot of my clients that kind of fall into that trap. You got to know your numbers, and you got to know how much things cost you.
Yes.
I've had many clients that closed what they thought was awesome deals, awesome businesses, but then they kind of, they charged 100,000 so they can spend 100,000. This is something that in the early years of my company, I like to sell, that rejuvenates me. So
right.
Times I sold things lower than what I should have. And we worked our asses off to break even.
That's right.
We worked our asses off to give value to the client, but none of us stayed with us. So it's really important to break your numbers down and to understand what each project, what each thing cost you. And working with someone like you with the McKelvey Group really helps us, because we didn't know that before.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. Things can be hidden from you, and you don't realize where there's some issues. Rising tides, keep you off the rocks and all boats, those kind of things. And so in good times, you might not see the worst of it. And sometimes in the worst times, you might start seeing things that aren't really the right answers either. I believe how you set up your books and how you set up your accounting is as critical as how you review the numbers, because how you put it in really dictates how it comes out as information. We do a lot of work with government contractors, and government contracting by its nature requires job costing, or really tracking your costs and your revenues down to individual jobs or tasks, really low level information. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of value to that for commercial clients as well, because if you don't know where you're making your money, where you're losing your money, how efficient you are, you can't improve it. It's like any process improvement there is. Finance is part of it, but anything out there, unless you can measure it and then track it, you can't improve it. And so we actually spend a lot of our time when we first set up a client and start working with the client is not just quickly getting in the books and getting the bank accounts reconciled and all the accounting. That's important, but we actually find out where's the client going with their business. What are they going to be doing? What's changing in the next few years? And does the current structure make sense for that? Because it doesn't always make sense. It does have to evolve with businesses. And then finally, it's about information. It's honestly, you have to, as finance and accounting folks, you can't just give data to management. You have to give them information, actual information that looks historically and also projects forward. And that's exactly it. If you can really tell what your individual jobs are, I'll bet you when you looked at your jobs, you found that a couple of them you were just killing it, and a few you were really losing money on, even if it looked good overall. And that's the common problem with averages. Averages can look great, but if you could get rid of those really low, performing ones and really highlight those high performing ones, wow, it's like a rocket ship.
I've grown a lot lately because I've noticed that I give way too much. I give a lot more, and then sometimes, and this hit me in the butt a couple of times during COVID. There were companies that we worked with, and we signed a contract to do A, B, C, and D, okay? But they were not ready for C and D, okay? So they verbally asked us, hey, instead of doing that because we're not ready, can you guys do extra work on other places? And of course, we said yes, and our beloved clients, and then after we finished the project, they were like, oh, you didn't provide C and D. It's in the contract. And you need to provide it. But we're like, but you guys were not ready, and you asked us to do something instead. And I didn't have them sign an addendum, which of course next time I will.
Yes,
so
yes, you will.
Absolutely. So you got to understand that service has limits. You can't give for $1,000. I can't give you my heart and my pants and my shorts.